Good afternoon. We're right at the cusp of good morning and good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today. I want to welcome Council Members Ploman and Henson and Bledsoe and Brown, and Councilmember Farmer is just arriving. Also joining us today is Steve Polston, who's founding director of the New Life Day Center here in Lexington. Charlie Lanter, who until just recently is director of our Office of Homelessness Prevention and Intervention. And also joining us are Bill Farmer, President and CEO of the United Way of the Bluegrass, Jason Rothrock and Lee Turpin from the County Attorney's Office, and Police Chief Mark Barnard. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. Today we are introducing the End Panhandling Now van. This van will travel Lexington streets and offer a ride to those who want an opportunity to work and earn. We're offering a hand up to those who are asking for a handout in our streets, a ride to those who want a job. Workers will earn $9 an hour, and that's more than the minimum wage. The city will offer jobs cleaning up the community. Private businesses needing day laborers can also participate. With council approval, the van will be donated to New Life Day Center, which will operate the program. Now, our community is a giving and caring community. We were recently, in fact, named one of the most generous cities in America. No one has to beg for food and shelter in Lexington. We are a compassionate community. Our city invests almost $6 million a year in programs that help people experiencing homelessness or those living in extreme poverty. We provide shelter and housing and food. Giving to panhandlers can cause the wrong result. It can support dangerous addictions. For those who want to give, a very good thing, we're encouraging folks to give to lexgive.com. Gifts will help support the van program. I want to thank the United Way and 211 for working with us on this program. Now, in addition to the van, we will propose a new city ordinance to the council in early May. This new ordinance will focus on safety for pedestrians and motorists. We will also post signs at intersections asking citizens not to give cash to panhandlers, because panhandling in the streets is dangerous. Our city has had several instances of panhandlers actually being struck by cars, and we've even had fatalities. Now, I want to next introduce you all to Steve Polston. He's the founder and the director of the New Life Day Center, who will operate the van program. Steve is a nuclear physicist by training, but today he gives his life's work to our community. He's a man with a passion for helping his fellow man, a good Samaritan. And he has some stories to share with us today. He recently came back from a trip to Albuquerque where this program has been initiated with success. Steve?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. It's a privilege to be here, a privilege to work in the community and making Lexington better. Helping the homeless is one of our highest goals at New Life Day Center. I will tell you about, for openers, about the trip that the mayor referenced to Albuquerque, where I got sold on this approach. I became sold on this approach that we are offering. And just had a turnover.
Put it right there.
Yeah, okay, thank you. The mayor always rescues me. So I appreciate that. But so Charlie Lanter and I traveled to Albuquerque, and we witnessed firsthand a great program that was invented by Mayor Berry out there, who's the counterpart of our mayor. They work together. They speak highly of each other, even behind each other's back. It's quite nice to hear from across the country what someone had to say about Lexington and about our mayor. But what we saw was a program out there that in and of itself will not end homelessness, but it is a big component of undertaking that effort. And it is I feel like it is a necessary step, and it is a significant step. So what we saw out there was a pickup of the morning of people that were panhandlers, homeless people primarily, but not all homeless. And they would be hauled to a job site furnished by the city, and they would work there for 6 hours a day. So Charlie and I went along with that, and I actually worked in the crew, and I observed firsthand. I was reminded of my career in business, what I already knew, but kind of had, wasn't in the front of my mind anymore, that there's a great spirit that comes from working. I worked with these 8 people, and they were enthusiastic. They were sweating. We were all sweating. I mean, they about worked me under. They outworked me for sure. But what I saw was when you get people to work, their whole mentality is elevated. And I saw that there. I was reminded of that, and I bring that back, that mental picture of people performing real work that the city of Albuquerque needed. So I saw the effect it was having on them, and I will emphasize that above all else today. What the end result of this was that there was people in that crew that were starting landscaping business because of this job. They were taking computer courses. They wanted to start their own computer company. It was just remarkable things happening. Now our own organization, New Life Day Center, is a typical day center, I think successful one that you see across the U.S. We have about 150 homeless people a day that come in there. We plan to start this implementation beginning next week. We will do dry runs, we will do test runs that will validate our procedures. I come from a strong corporate background running companies, so I believe in having a process and sticking with it. So we will verify those procedures next week, and then we will get a full-up implementation May the 8th. That's our starting date. Now, some of you that have a background in business, there's a term about connecting things together. It's called vertical integration. And so we're applying the concept of vertical integration here. We're taking the people and getting them jobs, and then when we do that, we at New Life Day Center will be able to put them in apartments because we will give them a free rent deposit. And when you give people a free rent deposit to have income, they go into housing and they stay there. We've proven that this year. We've had about 130 in the last 10 months that we've given a free rent deposit to, and as a result of that, they got shelter, they got walls for the wind, roof for the rain, and about 90% of them so far are standing and staying stood. They're sticking. They're not relapsing. We've only had about 10 or 12 relapse out of 130. So it's a successful program, but one of the reasons that I accepted this role that was offered by the mayor and Charlie is I want to see the people take the money and get into housing. That's the goal. It's a twofer. It's a vertical integration approach. So with that, I appreciate, again, this opportunity, and I'll turn it over to Charlie.
Great. Okay, next, I'm going to ask Charlie Lanter, who's been the founding director of our Office for Homelessness Prevention and Intervention, who has also been working on this project. Charlie?
Thank you, Mayor. It's important to note about this program that homelessness and panhandling get attached together a lot, and some of that's inevitable. But what we found in Albuquerque was that only about 10% of people who were panhandling on their streets were actually homeless. That doesn't mean they don't need help, and it doesn't mean we're not going to help them. This program is a win-win-win. It's a win for the people who are asking for our help. It's a win for our citizens who want to make sure they get what they need. And it's a win for our communities as we help offer a step up and an opportunity for self-sufficiency for some of our most vulnerable citizens and those who are coming from out of town and seeking our help. We were impressed with Albuquerque's initiative because they started with one van a couple days a week, and after just a short time, they moved to 2 vans 5 days a week. And that was because so many people wanted on the van. We expect that these folks want to work. Not everyone is going to want on the van, but there will be sufficient need. There will be sufficient interest and sufficient opportunity for those who want help. Every day when they stop for lunch, we're going to have people come out and work with them to try and help get them connected to permanent full-time employment and have any of their other needs met, as Steve said, helping get them into housing, help to get them into full-time employment. Whatever it is that they need, we're going to connect them to that. The mayor said that this is a generous community. This is not a value judgment. We are not judging anyone on our streets. They are our friends. We know them, and we want to help them. And our community has asked for that help, and we're delivering with this opportunity to help present them with an answer to their question, which is, will you help me?